Alright guys, if you can hear me, just leave a message in the chat on YouTube and we'll wait for a few more to get in and we can get started. So if you can hear me, yep, that's it. Don't forget to credit the music. Alright, my friend sent me this actually a few days ago. It's a pretty good little mix that this guy's made here. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Sweet. So if you guys want to start dropping some questions in the chat, anything that you want answered by me, that'd be good, so I can just go back over it later on and we can get through a bunch of questions, do some market analysis, and just, yeah, see if I can provide some value for you guys. So 20 viewers. Oof, it's going off. We'll wait probably 1 or 2 more minutes for a few more people to hop on, and then we'll get started. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, welcome guys. Thank you so much for joining this afternoon, this morning, tonight, wherever you are. It is currently around 12 p.m. where I am, so midnight, outside, beautiful night. And yeah, I just decided to do a live stream with you guys. Hopefully the timing suits you guys a bit better because I know a lot of you are from not Australia, obviously. So I don't see any questions in the chat yet, so let me just check it's all working. Awesome. So yeah, anyone want to send a message? Any questions anyone's got so far? Otherwise, I'll just get started and I'll just start looking at the charts. And do you have a base your position sizing on how far you think? Awesome. So great question, Adam. Do I ever base my position size off of how far I think a position will go? That's a good question. So it depends not so much on how high I think it will go, but I think it more so depends on my conviction on where I think it's going to go. If I think something's going to go 10x, but I've only got a little bit of conviction for my thoughts on that going to occur, I'm not going to enter a huge position. But if I think something's going to go 50% and I'm really, really confident that it's going to do that, I'm more than happy to enter a bigger position. So it's more about my confidence in something happening than the size of something happening. Now, saying that, there is a bit of nuance to even that, because a lot of it is defined based off risk to reward. So if you're only risking 5%, but your upside that you're seeing, and you can logically explain the possibility for this, the upside being 10x, you can theoretically risk a lot more capital because your risk to reward in that situation is actually really high. So that risk to reward might be like 50 to 1. That's a really good risk to reward. Like for example, let's draw on the chart right here. Let's go to something that might have huge risk to reward. So let's go to Ray. Awesome, let's get the daily. Actually, let's put this back on. All right, so we got the Ray chart here. So it's broken out, all-time highs, and the upside, there's a lot of upside on Ray. You look at this chart, it's a literally 2-month accumulation range, and we have huge volume. Look at this volume here. Look at all this volume we have here. That's very bullish. See the volume here? Low volume accumulation, high volume breakout. We're coming down to retest this range. So technically, you could draw with this chart a really good risk to reward setup. So for example, if you think that price will come down to this support level here, you can theoretically only risk, let's say you risk 6%. Your upside is very significant because who knows where Ray's going to go. Like, this chart is very bullish, and you know, if we do get this Sol season like a lot of people are predicting, and we see Radium get a lot of traction through the people adding liquidity to the platform, through new users coming in, you know, the upside for Ray is a lot. And so, yeah, it's got a really high risk to reward. So technically, yeah, you can risk a bit more because you're going to make a lot more. But I personally like to base my position size off of my conviction. That's what I like to do more. So I hope that answers that question for you, mate. All right, let's have a look. No shills. Hey, Skin Show, how you going? Prediction Ray. XRP prediction. All right, let's look at XRP. Let's look at XRP. All right. Okay, so what I think you guys could get a lot of value from is if I simply look at a fresh chart and just give you my initial thoughts and my analysis of it. So this can actually help you in your own analysis because I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing instead of sending you a chart once I've already done all the analysis. So let's do that. All right, let's remove all this shit off the chart. All right, that trade didn't play out, did it? So first off, when I see charts like this, I like to draw the trend line. So clear trend line right here. Second off, I'd probably draw the bottom of the trend line. So it's something like this. So it's a clear triangle breakout. Second thing I like to do is draw horizontal support and resistance. So I'm seeing something around here. Why is that? So there's the high here. So we have the high, and we broke out, retested it here, we retested it here, retested it here, retested it here, and now we're coming up retesting it again. So that's a very clear level right there. So this line, obviously, retest, 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 it's a very obvious line. Alright, so first thing is drawing the lines. So let's draw a couple higher ones. Obviously you're going to draw a resistance level there, and maybe I'll draw one here. So why did I draw one here? What we had was a series of wicks and retests of the line. This was the first lower low of this trend, and the first lower low of a trend is quite significant because technically a lower low signifies the start of a bear market or a continued downtrend. And so what we had here was, yeah, test of support, test, breakdown, coming back up, retesting. So this is a significant level because it was the first lower low that led to like that resistance level. And so technically, if I'm looking at this chart, what I'm seeing is if price can get above this level and retest and hold this level here, I'll draw a little zone here. If it can hold this little level here, then I could easily see price rising up to 1.7. Simply because this is the best way to trade, in my opinion. The best way to trade is to mark the zone where there is, mark the zone where the price is stuck between, wait for the breakout from the zone, and then buy the retest of that zone once we get to it. So let me draw that. It's a three-step process. Step 1, identify the price range. 2, wait for breakout from range. On volume, key point. 3, buy the I know the keyboard's noisy, so just bear with me. Buy the retest of the range high. So this is the 3-step formula that I use to trade. Very simple. We identify a range here. There's a high here. Get the line. There's a line there. High, retest, resistance, resistance, resistance. So when we break out above it, if we do, you can expect it to be support. If it's support, you would buy it, and then you would be aiming for the next resistance level, and that's here, in my opinion. So personally, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't trade this chart because the support and resistance is a little bit unclear. What I mean by that is that technically you have a resistance here. Technically you have a support here. I know this chart's getting messy. Technically there's like a resistance here as well, and so it's a little bit messy. Whereas a chart like Ray is a lot cleaner. This is a much cleaner chart. It's very clear where the support and resistance is. Let's look at the daily, it's even clearer. So obviously the top of this range is the support level. Obviously that's the support right there. Does that make sense? That should make sense. That's the support range right there. Let's have a look. Awesome. Any more comments? How do you monitor your performance? Do you keep track of all trades in some other system? FTX doesn't offer nice dashboards to track performance. On FTX, I just use the P&L and like the P&L stuff that they have. And obviously you would keep a trading journal where you would be tracking, like writing down your trades and stuff like that. Please walk us through your outlook for FBTC. Adam, good question. Adam, you're pumping out these questions, mate. I love them. Personal curiosity of mine, as you might be able to tell. All right, let's look at the FBTC chart. Also, quick question: is the music too loud or is the music good? Is the music too loud or is the music a good volume? I don't see any comments here. All right, I'll just keep it at that. So let's look at Ethereum / BTC. All right, so I actually have a really key resistance level here that I don't know if I've shared. So let's get rid of this shit here. Again, lots of shit on the chart. All right, remove that, swing low. Unnecessary lines. Okay, so this is actually a really key resistance level here. Test here, test here, test here, here, and we're heading into the next test. So this is a super critical resistance level. So if you're looking to take profits on your Ethereum longs or your Ethereum / Bitcoin long, I would be looking to do it in the green box, simply because this is a super critical resistance level. Now, if we look at the low time frame, you can see that it's really struggling with this level. Now, it's actually quite a bullish consolidation. So this is another key point that I need you guys to understand. Tight consolidation at resistance equals bullish, generally. So, my favorite charts to trade are the ones where you have a really tight really tight consolidation right below a resistance level, where it doesn't really give people who are wanting to buy a good entry on a dip. It's sort of just chilling, it's sort of just hovering at the resistance level. Those are the best trades because they have the highest probability. They reflect, in my opinion, a really strong market and a really high probability of continuation in the direction that the trend's going, whether it's up or down. So I quite like this consolidation. It's not perfect, but it is quite nice at the resistance. What we could see is a pop up into this resistance here. Where's my little line? Into here, and then either we consolidate, break through, or we go up, consolidate, break down. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. I'm going to wait until we get price up into this region, and then we can start to look at what price does. Is it having a big rejection wick? Is the volume? Is there big sell candles? What's the sentiment like? Is there too many people on Twitter boasting about their Ethereum bags and how shit Bitcoin is? All that sort of stuff. You got to consider that. There's no way for me to know what's going to happen here, but I can just be ready to react when we get to that region. Awesome, let's have a look. Good volume. Bonfire, 85k holders. I don't really care, it sounds shit. 2 flags. Oh shit. Yeah, you could technically draw some sort of flag, or like some sort of, I don't know, bullish pattern, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's a nice pattern. So, if this breaks up, that's really bullish, obviously. But we'll wait and see what happens. So, okay. I tweeted just before about FTT. So, let me clear my thoughts up on FTT for all you guys. So, we had a tweet by FTX saying that they're going to be releasing a new IEO soon. And what that means is that they're going to be having another project launch, and to get an allocation to this project before it launches, you need to be holding a certain amount of FTT on the FTX exchange. And so we had prior IEOs launch, for example, Oxy and Maps, and I remember for each of those ones there was a big rally for FTT leading up into the IEO, because a lot of people, had to buy FTT to participate in these project launches. Now, take into consideration the level of hype that FTX, Sol, all those sort of things had 2 months ago is significantly lower than what we have now. And so what that means is that all these new people who have their attention focused on Sol, SRM, Ray, all these SAM coins basically, all these people have their attention focused here. They're very likely to want to buy FTT to get an allocation to this new coin. Because think about it, all these coins, like, look at it, ready? Ray, it's pumped. Ray's already doubled in a week. SRM, it's doubled in like 3 days. It's, Sol, it's already up as well. All these coins have already pumped, and so people are going to be looking for the new ones that haven't. And they're going to want to, and because a lot of IEOs have performed well, let's look at the past 2 IEOs. Maps has performed really well. So look at on listing, it was at 50 cents, and now it's all the way at $1.70, $1.80. That's really good performance. Let's look at Oxy. I think Oxy had a pump today. Yeah, look, Oxy has a decent chart as well. So people know that FTX-based IEOs are good coins, and they are likely to see the person, whoever gets the allocation, make good money because they're getting in at a good entry point. So they haven't actually announced the new IEO, but that's good because that means that we're buying before anyone else is. And all I care about is, am I buying before more people are going to buy? Is my bid going to lead me to a profit? That's all I care about. And so based off this analysis, I'm deducting that over the coming weeks, I'm very likely to be able to make money on FTT because a lot of people are going to be buying soon to get an allocation. So I hope that makes sense for everyone. Yep, FTT bought this afternoon. Do I ever buy dips? Yeah, I bought Ray. We bought Ray like a few days ago in the VIP. I'll show you where we bought. So, let's get rid of this shit. Okay, let's look in the VIP. So, I said, okay, we bought Ethereum here, and that obviously went up a lot, and we bought Ray at 7.5 on the, what day is that? The 21st. So this is where I said adding Ray here, 7.5. Now where are we at? That was here, 7.5. Yep, we're up about, well now it's down a bit. We're up about 83% in, how many days is that? In under a week, we're up 80%, which is pretty decent, considering the market at the moment. So that was what you call it, obviously buying the dip, because what I saw was, let's remove this. What I saw for Ray was pretty obvious. let's have a look. Where's RSI? There it is. So we saw on the 4-hour chart a clear bull div, a very, very clear bull div right here. Cool. It was a perfect bullish divergence right here. So yeah, I don't know how to make that any clearer. It was pretty obvious. The main thing I was waiting for before buying, I could have bought it lower. I could have bought it at $6.80, but I wanted to see buyers step in and take us above this low here. So let me zoom in. So technically this bear div could have gone like down here. Price could have gone to $6 and still formed a bull div. It could have still formed a bull div. So what I wanted to wait for to minimize my risk was price to reclaim this low. And what this is called is it's actually called an SFP. SFP. Swing failure pattern. Cool. So a swing failure pattern is basically where we have price form a low and we bounce, and then we see price go below that low here and then reclaim it quickly. And that's called a swing failure pattern. And how a swing failure pattern basically works is people buy here and they set their stop losses below. So people typically set a 3% stop loss. So let's say it's there. Let's zoom in a bit more. And let's get a bit early. So people would have bought here on the dip and they set their stop loss below. So a swing failure pattern means people want to buy Ray, and so liquidity is always, like, the market is always hunting for liquidity. It's always trying to find, how can we like mess over the most amount of people? How can we ruin the most amount of people's day? That's what the market's trying to do. And so to destroy the most amount of people's day, the best way would be to take out all of their stop losses in this zone right here and then close back above and continue to moon. And what this does is, when you think about it, what is a closed long? A closed long is a sell. And so if someone wants to buy a lot of Ray, the best way to get to buy a lot of Ray is to force a lot of people to sell their Ray. And so this pattern allows someone to, like a big market participant, to sell a lot of Ray, to get the market to sell a lot of Ray so they can get their positions filled before the market continuing higher. And so obviously I recognize that pattern, and I wasn't going to make that mistake that everyone else did. I bought once we had that close above, and I tweeted it around here. And so, yeah, we're up 80% now. All right, any questions? Okay, how to apply Fibonacci to Ray? That's a good question, or to price discovery in general. So, I don't know how to do it to Ray because the chart is so messy. Like, let's do a good example. Let's do Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a really good one for Fibonacci extensions. So, this is how I bought every dip for Bitcoin. It was very simple. It's just so simple. All right, Fib. That's a Fib retracement. So, pretty simple. Let's do Fib extensions. We'll go here. Which one's the best one? I'll have a quick look. We'll do, it should be on log. That's better. Alright, let's do this one. So here. Okay, so it's 3 steps. Bottom wick, top wick. No, it's not making sense. So bottom trend, top trend, bottom of next trend. Okay, so this is the 3-step process to drawing a Fibonacci extension. It's very simple. So Bottom of trend. So obviously we started from here, and you do it from the wick. You do it from the wick. So you press there, drag it up. I didn't go quite to the top here. Let me put it back up. So obviously to the top of the next trend, and then you bring it down to the bottom of that next trend, right here. And so what a fib extension shows you is likely resistance levels that you can expect to see. And it works really good for price discovery because it's what a lot of people use. So resistance here, it worked really well. Look at that, it's perfect. Here, didn't quite make it. Test the support, resistance, key resistance level here. Didn't quite work here. That's all good. Coming down, testing support. It's a bit choppy here. Yeah, it's a bit choppy here. But overall, it does tend to work quite well for picking areas to sell. And the main ones you want to be looking for is the, did we reach this one? No. So the main ones you want to be looking for on the fib extension is the 1.618. That's the main one. This is the main one. So let's look at an RSI chart. This is actually really good, this one. US dollar. Yeah. I think whoever has the oldest data. Yeah, it's better. Yep, so it's a little bit off, so let me fix that up. All right, so let's have a look at this, see if this works. Cool, so this one worked reasonably well. Resistance. Oh yeah, and also the 0.618 is another good one. Those two. This one and this one is generally the best ones. Yeah, this one sort of worked, but yeah, it's... Okay, so the most important part of finding support and resistance is confluence. Confluence is the most important thing. The more evidence you can find to support a perspective that you come to, the more likely that your analysis is likely to play out. So if you have an RSI bull div, if you have a big green candle, if you have sentiment really bearish, if you have fundamentals to back up, like maybe the project's releasing something in 2 weeks, if you have this confluence of ideas, your trade or investment is much more likely to play out simply because of this. You don't want to be entering a trade because of just one indicator. It doesn't really work that well. You need to be entering based off of a few different things which can form confluence. So let's look at that Ray trade. Let's start off with Ray. So Ray, we had a few things. We had a bull div. We had a bull div. We had a reclaim SFP of this swing low, which was at 7.4, and so we bought at 7.5 as we reclaimed it. We also had radium undervalued from a fundamental perspective because the radium TVL, the total value locked in Ray, was significant. It was trending up. Radium TVL has been making new highs for the past month, but the radium price has been going sideways. It's literally done nothing. It's done fuck all. It's just gone up, down, heaps in a range. Whereas the radium TVL, if we take a look, has just been trending up. Look, we're at almost $800 million in TVL, and we were back at the total value locked in radium is up 5x from 20th of March. What's price done since the 20th of March? It's literally gone up maybe, what's that, like 70%. It's gone up like 50%. So to me, that meant that at $7.5, Ray is very undervalued because I have confluence. Keyword, confluence. I have a confluence to support my trade. So it's really important for you guys. Let's look at some questions. Do you recheck the indices at different time intervals? Okay. So my main ones are the 4 hour, 1 day, 1 week, and 1 hour. These are the only ones I use. Pretty simple, these 4. 4 hour, daily, weekly, hourly. Do you guys have any other questions? All right, let's pull up the Bitcoin chart. I've got something I want to explain for you guys. So, that's gonna be better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so we're going to take this back to the prior bull market high. So how could we have known in advance that the Bitcoin bull market was coming to an end and getting out at a decent exit? So I have a really good method to be able to pick this. This is a very important lesson for you guys. So when price reaches the significant high and price has reached at least, a short to mid-term bottom, from then onwards you can use those two data sets to find the area where price will either hit a top and enter a bear market or continue higher and continue the bull market. So let's draw this line. What you do is you get your fib retracement tool. Sorry, fib retracement, wrong one. And you start from the top of the trend and you draw it down to the bottom of the trend. So it's around here. Cool. So okay, so what happens is if a bull market breaks down like this and price can't stay above the 0.618 fib level, then that means that an intermediate top is in. If price can't stay above this level here, this one right here, then an intermediate top is in. This is just how it works. This is how all these prior Bitcoin trends that I've seen have worked out. And so when you're looking at the chart now, if I bring it back, we can see a similar thing. We can see a similar chart. So what have I done here? I've drawn from the top of the trend to the bottom here, and this is the region here, right here. And so if I'm expecting price to go into this region, I'm expecting maybe a small retracement to 54k, and then I'm expecting price to go to 56 to 57, to 58. And this is likely a region where we will see price stall. If we are to continue into like a bull market, we need to get to new all-time highs. We need to get above this level. We need to get above 58k. This is the line, and this is the key level for me. So let's delete this. Go to the daily. So if we can get above here, do something like this, like that. Then I would, and assuming that this low, if we can get above this red line at 58k and hold above it, I think we can see new all-time highs. That's my level that I see that happening. If we hit this region here and we can't close above, and it's clear that there's no bullish catalyst going forward, there's no like buys, or like the buy support that we normally see in the market is disappearing. We're starting to see long-term holders, whales, institutions, all that starting to sell, and we can't get above that level. Then that would to me signal that we're hitting a price like a longer term price top. Maybe not the actual top, but at least a longer term top. So this is the line in the sand typically. So you can draw this on all these prior trends. I actually used it for a really nice fractal back during this one. So let's have a look. Oh, not this one. This one here. So you draw it from the top here down to the bottom. Yep, worked really well. So we go down to this one here. So we had price hit here, couldn't get above. Once we got above, you buy that retest here. We held above, can expect new all-time highs. And that's what we got here. It didn't go very far, obviously, but it still worked. Cool. Yep, log chart is the best chart, absolutely, for crypto, because crypto is so volatile that you need to have log just to be able to show the scale of the trend. Otherwise, I mean, for Bitcoin it's fine because we're not very volatile at the moment, but like, see how shit that looks? It's all so far away and small. Oh, that didn't work, did it? I'll bring this back. Whereas you put it on log, and you can see it all way better. Yeah, much clearer. How about if the 58k just goes sideways? That's okay. That's perfectly fine. The key thing is, once we hit 58k, what happens? Do we consolidate at 58k? Do we see a small retracement and then we break above it later? Do we see long-term investors selling at 58k? Like, it depends what we see. Alright, cool. Let's have a look at this. So, clearly the Bitcoin supply on exchanges is declining, and that's bullish because it means that if someone wants to buy Bitcoin, there isn't as much Bitcoin as there was yesterday, which means that people would be willing, there's less supply available and fuss, just based off like basic supply and demand dynamics, that the price is likely to rise. It's just sort of how it works. And so if for example we hit 58k and we saw this trend reverse strongly, then I would personally be concerned, because that shows me that long-term investors who have, previously put their coins from the exchange to a cold storage are actually putting it back on the exchange. And so that would be quite bearish for me. But we got to wait and see if that happens. So that's all we need to really know for now. Cool. Would you rotate more from alts to Bitcoin if it reclaims 50? So going sideways, do you? Would I rotate from alts to Bitcoin? Well, it's a funny one because like Bitcoin has retraced quite significantly. Like, see this, like we've gone down quite a bit, but during this time frame, a lot of alts have actually gone really good. Like if you go back to the 15th of March, which is that Bitcoin top, and Bitcoin dropped, Sol has almost doubled in price since. Well, that's not looking too good, is it? Sol has almost doubled in price since. So that's quite bullish. And like that sort of market dynamic means that I might not sell alts like these. because they seem to hold up even when Bitcoin's dropping. Other alts like what's a good like Uniswap, small Uniswap coins, I'd probably sell. But coins like all the SAM coins, FTT, I'm not going to sell these ones just because I don't think they're too affected by Bitcoin. Which way are we going? This way. JM, that's a good question. I don't actually know how. I don't think I have an answer for that because I don't like. We're at a stage in the market where we haven't actually seen this level of adoption in crypto. So no, I don't know how the market would play out because we've never experienced this before. We've never had projects that had billions of dollars locked in the network, and where the token holders are being rewarded with like tens of, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in fees that buy and burn the tokens. Like that probably is bullish, but we haven't seen that happen before. So I can't really predict what's going to happen there. Yeah, FTT, but think about it this way. Just because something is resistant to a Bitcoin correction doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. It doesn't actually mean it just always is like that. There's no good or bad coin. There's just ones that trend up or down better during particular periods of time. So yeah, FTT and Sol are good now, but Sol's probably going to shit itself when it hits a top soon, and it's probably going to underperform the market. Once Solana season is over, Sol is going to perform terribly. So and then that would mean that if Bitcoin dumps, Sol is just going to dump even harder. And I mean, look at the chart right now. It's not looking too great, although it is on low volume. So we have a price decline, low volume. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Awesome, guys. We'll do a few more minutes. Any last questions? Let me know. Otherwise, we'll finish it up. How is your portfolio built? Long-term, stable coins, short-term trading. Okay, I break down my full portfolio allocation in my latest Gumroad course. And there's one copy left. So if you're interested, it's all explained in there. It's a bit too lengthy to do an explanation on it now, just because it is, quite like reasonably detailed. How much FTT do you need? Good question. I don't know how much you need because they might change the rules based off what they did last time for the MAPS IEO. But what you can do is you can look at what they did beforehand and you can sort of predict, it's probably going to be something similar. It might actually be a little bit less because the price of FTT has risen quite a bit since the last IEO. So they might, give a little bit more leeway for people who didn't actually, because the price was different back then. All right. Any more final questions? Stupid question. Pancake dominates. Cake gets banned. News probably don't see the price screen offers. Yeah, Cake's been performing well. Cake's been going well. What are you talking about? Ready? Let's look at this. How much is this up? Probably. I mean, maybe relative to the amount it's getting burnt, it's not up too much, but it's still one of the best performing coins on the market right now. If we do a comparison, let's do a comparison to the total market. Let's also do a comparison to altcoins. Let's also do a comparison to Ethereum as a benchmark. So if you look at this, Cake has been outperforming the market for weeks, and that's a pretty significant outperformance right here. In the past, how long is this? So that's the 9th, 26. In the past 3 weeks, Ethereum is up 25%, Cake is up 66%. So it's actually up 3x more than Ethereum, which you could argue is the benchmark for altcoin performance. So it's actually performed quite well. Same for coins like Ray. Oh no, not Ray, sorry, Sol. Sol USD. Yeah, so honestly, these two are in pretty relative. These ones are in pretty good relative tandem, actually. If you look at them, they both found a low at the bottom here, came up, except Sol's now underperforming. What's another one that performed well? Matic. Matic performed really well. Yeah, see, so like Cake's one of the top performers in the market. So relative to the market, it's going quite well. The last course is the 42 lessons one. No, so the last course is it's this one. So this is the latest one. This one here. I explain everything in this one. I'll send you a link. There's one copy left. Cool. So that pretty much explains everything that you need to know. We'll do one more question. Do I have a bias on Ethereum over the next 24 to 48 hours? Okay. Let's get rid of all of this mess. Shit. Get rid of the yellow. Wow. Okay, let me show you guys how to compare charts to see what's strong and what's weak. Okay, so Sol is weak. It's making lower highs. Bitcoin higher highs. Ethereum higher highs. However, there could be a bear div. There's probably a bear div. Yeah, here we are. Bear div for Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, for Ethereum. So that's how you can see the strength of a coin. Is something strong, is something weak. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are in pretty relative tandem right now. They both found that low at the same time. They're both making the exact same accumulation pattern. Let's delete that. So my bias for the next 1 to 2 days. Look, honestly, if we can hold above this red region, I can just see us going to new all-time highs. Honestly, pretty soon. Yeah, as long as we hold above this region here. As long as we're above here. That's a bad line. As long as we're above there, then I can see us, I don't know, just sort of continuing up. Something like this. Awesome. Yeah, lesson 1, use TradingView. That's so smart. Like it's not smart. That's like literally it. TradingView is so important. Awesome. I'm gonna wrap it up here. So, thank you guys for. Yeah, no worries, Adam. So thank you guys so much for joining. I do appreciate it. Can you, if anyone is still watching the stream, just send me a message on Telegram with any feedback that you have. What did you like? What didn't you like? How can I improve for next time? Is this a good concept? Is this something you want to see more? Everything like that, because I'm just doing this as a test. Like, this is just a test. I'm just seeing if it's good or not. I've got no idea. I don't even, like, I'm assuming you guys are seeing everything like I'm showing on the screen. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, everyone have a good rest of your night, day, afternoon, whatever it is. And yeah, we'll talk soon.